Hello, Math 120. Welcome to the new spring 20 semester here at CNCC. So we're starting the new unit with this lecture on measures of central tendency and measures of variation, okay? Dispersion and variation are the same thing. So measures of central tendency is where we want to start. And so I have a cheesy song to start us out so you can hear me sing. So it goes like this. So mode is the most, the average is the mean, median, it's the number in between. Okay, so we're gonna figure out how to do this. So first, here is our data set up here. Each number is an element of our data set. I have 12 members of my data set. So what we could say is our N is 12. And so N stands for the total number of all of our data set. Okay. How many elements are in the data, right? So we'll start with mode. Mode is the most. So we're looking for the number that shows up the most. So we see these twos, there's two twos, but then I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 nines. So mode is the most. Well, that's 9. Okay. The average is the mean. Now the average is where we're going to take the sum of all these numbers. So there's a funky symbol for that. It's this weird E. It's the sum of all these numbers divided by how many numbers there were, which we have as our N. Okay, so we're going to add all these numbers up to get that. So let me get my calculator for a second here. So you're going to have to use a calculator. And when you do that, you're going to get, I forget what my number was, but you're going to add all these up. So 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 all the way through. Then you're going to hit enter. And you're going to divide by 12. So when I did that, I got 7.3. And that should make sense. Measures of central tendency are trying to find the middle. So the mode sometimes doesn't work out, but the mean and the median are usually right somewhere in the middle. Okay? So now let's do the median. It's the number in between. So if our data is set up like this one is, and in order from least to greatest, or it could be from greatest to least, it just needs to be in order. So when we do that, we just take away the smallest number, the biggest number, 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 the small, the big. Now, two things can happen. We're going to get to the middle eventually, and sometimes the middle is a number all by itself, okay? Sometimes it's like this, and there's two numbers in the middle, and there's not an actual number sitting there. When this happens, we find the mean or the number in between those two. So we say 7 plus 8 is 15 divided by 2 gives us 7.5. So the median, the number in between is 7.5. So you can see they're doing a pretty good job of finding the middle, these two numbers here, okay? So you need to be able to find the mode, mean, and median of your data set. And then we're going to start talking about variation here because this is kind of an earlier statistics topic. Range is just the smallest and your biggest number, the difference between those two. Well, difference is subtraction. So the big number, take away the small number, gives us a range of 17. Okay. Now, the interquartile range is we're going to be able to break this up into quarters, to quartiles. So here's the middle of our data. In the bottom half, there's 6 numbers. So there's the middle of the bottom half. And here's the middle of the top half. So we call this first part our first quartile. Here is our second quartile. Here is our third. And here is our fourth quartile here. So this interquartile range is the middle, okay? So it's the difference between your first quartile number and your fourth quartile number. So we get 9, we get 4, so our interquartile range is 5.